One of the darkest periods in history is the ascent of Adolf Hitler from a difficult Austrian upbringing to the head of Nazi Germany. He took advantage of the desperation that followed World War I to seize power through propaganda and discrimination, causing the world to descend into war and carry out crimes that left humanity forever changed. His rise to power, the destruction he brought about, and the lasting lessons of his tyranny are all examined in this tale. Adolf Hitler was a megalomaniacal and fanatic leader who drove his nation and many others to ruin. Some historians think that Adolf Hitler believed that his life's work was to exterminate the Jewish people, and that he would be praised for this accomplishment, even if he didn't create the Third Reich for a millennium. That's who he was, and I'm not sure how you start to handle that kind of crazy. On April 20th, 1889, Adolf Hitler was born in Braunau am Inn, Austria. Hitler had a difficult upbringing because he struggled academically, and his father passed away when he was very young. You begin to see the appeal of anti-Semitic and fervent anti-Bolshevik sentiments in his adolescence and his life in Vienna before the war. He served as a corporal during World War I, and, his name was Schicklgruber, not Adolf Hitler. All of a sudden, though, he was the one voicing a long tradition of German pride. Germany experienced extraordinary repercussions from World War I. Since the Western Alliance, the winners, imposed such harsh penalties on them that they were barely able to survive, they were receptive to the idea of someone like Hitler, who could voice their deepest anxieties, and he cleverly knew exactly how to do that. Hitler got involved in politics shortly after the First World War, joining and assisting in the founding of the German Workers' Party in 1919. Later on, this party changed its name to the Nazi Party. Adolf Hitler and other right-wing politicians plotted to topple the Republic in 1923. Hitler wrote Mein Kampf while incarcerated in response, expressing his extreme and fanatical views. He was illogically anti-Semitic and successfully used anti-Semitism as a means of gaining power. Hitler won the position of Chancellor in January 1933. Hitler was given extensive police and political powers following the February 1933 Reichstag fire. He was able to start the process of creating a totalitarian state and dictatorship. Because of the massive rallies in Berlin's streets, where hundreds of thousands of people would march in uniform, goose-stepped their way down the Platz, and raised their arms in salute to Adolf Hitler, people who thought about international policy were extremely concerned about what the dictator was up to. He then launched an invasion of Poland. He believed it would be a short campaign to conquer Poland, and that neither the British nor the French would declare war on him. However, Britain and France both declared war on September 3, 1939. Hitler launched the biggest land war in history when he invaded the Soviet Union in June 1941. Hitler also declared war on the United States in December 1941. 6 of the 7 continents were the sites of World War II. There were 50 million deaths. In an attempt to overthrow Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan, the United States, Great Britain, and the Western Allies sided with Russia. Hitler was adamant that it was his responsibility to eradicate all Jews from the planet, and he directed all available resources and labor to carry out this heinous task in the so-called concentration camps, also known as the death camps. The war changed course on June 6, 1944, when the Allies invaded Normandy. Germany would submit to the Allies in less than a year. During World War II, an estimated 6 million Jews perished. Adolf Hitler and his wife Eva Braun, whom he had recently married, committed suicide in May 1945. Adolf Hitler, in my opinion, is the most tyrannical person in history. In the 20th century, he nearly brought down civilization as we know it today. History will never, ever forgive him, and it shouldn't, in my opinion. What motivated him and why the German people chose to follow him, not just off the cliff, but into the deepest abyss in history, will always captivate them. Since Mark Twain was so successful at capturing the public's attention, he came to value having a public persona and is now regarded as America's first celebrity.